both things here.
Right on. And let's start broadcast. Five seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
What up?
What's up? What's up? What's up, Stephanie? What's up, Keto Felines? Look who I have here. I have Miss Stephanie. What's up, Stephanie?
Everything is up. The sun's up. Life is up. My age is up, but I'm feeling good about it.
Age is just a number. Both of us know that.
No, I love it. I love it. I would never want to be younger than what I am, ever.
Right. So I won't reveal your age, but let's just say you're
51.
The half-century mark. Is that right?
No, I'm the person who always says my age. So that's my brand. Yeah, 51. I'm good.
51.
Yes.
Wow.
What's up, guys?
And look at you at 51.
Thank you. I do try.
See, I have seen before and after pictures of you. I've seen before picture of you when you were like, I don't know how old you were living in Mexico. I think you were just starting to get into things at that time, maybe. It was right after you had a knee surgery.
Yeah, actually it was Sweden. Or else my Spanish would suck if I lived in Mexico. But yes, it was Sweden. And I had knee surgeries, and then from after my last surgery, I moved back to the States because I don't know, I just felt like I still had a lot of things to do, and it was no longer exciting to live in good old North Pole. So I came back here. Yeah, it was freezing. I was like, it's cold.
Right.
Yeah.
And severe lack of vitamin D too.
Severe lack of vitamin D. Not even kidding. Yeah.
And then I saw a picture of you when you were 35-ish.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll just say you are a lot more swole now.
Yes.
And it looks like you haven't aged a day since that 35 picture.
I think I actually aged backwards because when I was 35, I was eating things like, I was eating random things. I thought I was healthy with eating just like pasta, but very small amounts, cereal, but it was like granola cereal. And I would eat very little of it because I was aware of my weight, but I was undernourished, and I had muscles, but I didn't look as healthy as I do now. So if you take poor health at 35 and you take great health at 51, I'm obviously going to look younger now, especially if I've been able to preserve my hormones and my collagen and my vitality, my adrenals, all that kind of stuff.
Right. And for people who may not know your story, when did you turn keto? When did you get on the keto path?
Yes, I got on the keto path around 40, late 40 years of age, because my mother, I've spoken about this before, my mother had a glioblastoma, which is the most aggressive brain tumor that you can have. Most people, less than 1%, survive from it. And I was looking for anything. Actually, my brother and myself, actually my brother before myself, actually. He was working a lot harder than me. And I was sort of late in, I had heard about the ketogenic diet, but more in the bodybuilder community.
Right.
And so, I just started Googling anything that would stop cancer growth and cancer cell division, and keto kept popping up. And so, and also by a suggestion from a friend, I was like, I'm going to try this. And they had radiated her and gave her chemotherapy, but it continued to grow anyway. See what I'm saying? And a surgery.
Right.
So after sort of changing her diet and doing a lot of different things, my brother and I did a lot of different things. The cancer just stopped. The lesion stopped growing. They cut it out and it just started growing back immediately, like they said, because if you leave one cell behind, especially with a glioblastoma, it'll start growing real fast. Because you can't cut around the brain matter, right? You can only cut out as much of the tumor as you can. And then it started to grow back, and then it stopped. And it's just been stopped for 11 years now. And that's as long as I've done keto.
Wow.
Or almost 11. Not quite, but yeah.
Yeah. Very cool story. So who was your early influence? Like, who turned you on to keto first? And then who were the people you were following at first?
The first person was Nora Gagaudis. Yeah, bar none. You know, it's just like, I was so fascinated by everything she spoke about when it came to our primal lifestyles and carbohydrates and things of this nature. And then it was, who else was it? Oh, it was Gary Taubes was there's information that he was
Yeah.
putting out. And but it's like he only, for me, he was only putting things in the context of obesity. And I really
Right.
needed information about cancer and overall health. And
Yeah.
then obviously Jimmy Moore was another person.
Mhm.
And that was kind of, it was nice to see someone who wasn't a PhD, who was just a normal person. And Jimmy has such a big personality that I was connecting with what he was putting out there. And then it went from him to Steve Finney and Jeff Volek, and then Peter Attia. And then after that, it's some more like speckles of people, but really it was those people that were like the ones I was super heavily influenced by.
Right, right. And I'll just tell everybody that I actually met Stephanie in person at Paleo FX. Thank you very much for coming to Paleo FX. It was a pleasure to have you. I wish we could have spoken more other than just, hey, hug in the hallway.
This is Keith.
Yeah, there's a little bit going on during that time, which is the one downfall to putting on Paleo FX is you get everybody there, and then it's like, these are my people. These are all of my people, and hey, how's it going? Gotta run.
Gotta run, gotta go. But you run
go.
a big thing, It's not easy. People don't understand how much work goes behind it, and I guess you guys start like a full year out on trying to get it going, right?
Year and a half, yeah.
Year and a half, sorry.
Yeah. So we're already starting to make plans for 2020, which is freaking nuts, but it's but that's the way it is with a big show like that. You got to start 18 months early. It's a long process.
Exactly.
Shout out to the Paleo FX team for doing such an awesome job. And
Awesome job.
Yeah, they don't get enough credit for everything they do. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. If you knew what went on behind the scenes, it is a lot. So, in saying that, I can say that Stephanie is the real deal. She looks as good in person as she does on camera.
Thank
and
you.
she's just as bubbly in person as well. So,
Thank you.
The diet's working. I'll just say that.
The diet is working. It's incredible, yeah.
Did you have any reservations at first because you were training at that time? Did you think, okay, this diet's going to be really, really good for my health, but how is my training going to?
Yeah, okay, you're right. And I don't know why my computer is getting hot for some reason. Hold on, let me see if I can prop it up to cool it off a little bit. 1 second. I think I have too many windows open. So hopefully my computer will cool down. Okay, so, and also we are on live on my YouTube channel. So for those, you guys, I'm right here. So we can get double exposure and people can see how wonderful Keith is in the Paleo FX organization. So, okay. My reservations were that I would be tired. I think that was it. I wasn't worried about heart disease or weight gain or any of the typical things that people are concerned about. I was concerned about being tired on no starches or sugars. And I wasn't at all. I mean, I didn't notice any big change. I think over time, because I was personal training clients at the time, that in the afternoon, I'd have afternoon clients. That's when I'd feel a bit of a dip. And then that perplexed me that the whole day I'd be fine, but that, reactive sort of hypoglycemic or postprandial, post-lunch time, I would drop a little bit. And then that really, really bothered me. I was obsessed with trying to regulate my energy all day long. So when I first did it, I had the reservations of an energy loss, and then I didn't really feel a difference when I worked out. It was just the afternoon. And then I remedied that quite quickly by upping my fats.
By upping your fats?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So it was just a bit, you were a little bit lacking in calories. That was the ultimate answer.
I was lacking in tools to make ketones. So you need to have quite a dietary ketone amount to then, if I say it in layman's terms, get your brain to stop wanting glucose. So if you're putting gasoline into the car and one side is glucose, the other side is fat that that can be converted into ketones. If it's too low, the body doesn't have enough material to make ketones from, especially has to develop enzymes to break down the fat and to convert it into acetoacetate so it can get into the bloodstream, so people can get it into the whole body cycle. And you need enough dietary fat to create that physiology, that domino effect.
Right. And I think people who don't train clients don't realize how energy intensive that is. I mean, if you're really training them correctly, it is a huge energy outburst that you have to give for each client, or if you're teaching a class or whatever it might be. I've worked with one-on-one clients, and I've worked with groups of football players, and the intensity is different between both groups. The intensity is there the whole time, and it's an energy suck. And a lot of trainers fall into this, right? That they train clients all day, and then when it comes time for their training, they're just like, doof.
Oh yeah, Okay, here we go.
Stop calling Stephanie.
I know. Stop. Darn it. No one calls me. Nobody uses the phone anymore. They just DM each other on Instagram. Okay. Yeah. So the BHB salts I have found in my, I'm like apprehensive of like really being blunt. They don't work. They don't work.
Be blunt. Be blunt.
They don't work.
People love you for being blunt.
They don't work. When Keto-S came around and all these other types of brands, and now there's a million of them. And of course, I've been coaching people for so long. I don't even know if anybody has done the length of coaching that I have as a lay person, not a PhD, but just a continuum of studying subjects over time. They don't work. Because you have to factor in, these are salts, these are ketones in the blood. But if there's a competing factor of glucose. So if your glucose is too high, it makes ketones unavailable. That's even by body fat ketones or even dietary ketones. So often people who have their glucose too high will not feel the full stretch of the ketone viability and energy and healing of their autoimmunity. So they must get their glucose and their ketones in a range, actually a very tight range. So your blood sugar must be between a 69 to 80 milligrams per deciliter, and that cannot be hypoglycemic numbers. It must be ketotic numbers, because there's a difference between having your blood sugar. If you had your blood sugar at 69 milligrams per deciliter and you're a carb person, that might be hypoglycemia. And so that's why your ketones have to be in a range, which would be between a 1.8 to a 3.0 millimolar on the glucometer, and you could still have perfect numbers and then have leaky gut or some type of inflammation and your body's rejecting the ketones. It appears in the blood. So that's even on someone who doesn't use beta-hydroxybutyrate salts. So when people use the salts, it's what shows up in the blood and then ends up in the urine. And so when they start using urine strips in the beginning, it's like, of course, you're going to see it turn purple, the urine strip, because you're seeing the ketones in the toilet, but we want it in the cells. So even glucometers can be somewhat off in their registering of if you're in ketosis or not. And then we have to factor in how strong your gut wall is, because if you have leaky gut, that fat could be just ending up in your toilet. So when you really go into the salts, they're very problematic, they're very expensive, and they sometimes give people stomach aches, and they actually can raise your blood sugar. So, and it can be a very false positive reading. So I'm just like, don't take them. Just work on changing your life and get your own body to produce the ketones, because it is possible.
And if you had one tip that would be like the tip to help people transition out of, let's just call it two tips. One person coming from, okay, I'm eating paleo now, but it's like high carb paleo. One tip for them to transition versus one tip for somebody who's coming from the standard American diet.
I think that people have to consider that even with the paleo diet, that I'm starting to realize with all the people that I'm coaching is the problems with sensitivity to plant source foods. That is the common denominator. So when I start experimenting with plant source foods, like if you were to go from like starches and bread and like fast food and eating out all the time and crackers and cookies and things and chips and things like that, and you flipped over to paleo, you're going to see an exponential difference. But then people still may not feel their best, right? So I often have people go, okay, well, cut out the any fruits. If you're doing paleo with fruits, cut out any dates, just cut out anything that's a lot of fructose, and then start to consider types of foods that won't annoy your body. Like if you can tolerate sweet potato, then use sweet potato, use things like yellow squash, and even these foods make me feel cringy a little bit because even people who've got histamine intolerance will react to those foods. But I'd switch from starches to those types of foods, have your carbohydrates around 80 grams of carbs, and then slowly every 2 weeks take it down 80 to 60 to 50 to 20 and give yourself from 2 weeks to 5 weeks to graduate yourself into keto. I used to tell people to do it overnight, but I didn't realize how damaged people were. So I think that people would be if they had time to do it slowly, that would be my first advice. And then the second advice would to be know your existing health. Because when people start talking about cholesterol and all this nonsense, they don't even know what their numbers were prior. So if you actually did an experiment to know not only your cholesterol panel, because I don't really care about that, just the ratio between your triglycerides and your HDL would be important. If you can get a LDL small particle B test, but there's only 3 places in the US that do it, so it's a very rare test that people take. Otherwise, forget that. Know your insulin and get a glucometer and start measuring your blood glucose before you even try keto. Pay attention to thyroid symptoms, because people will do keto and their hair will start falling out, and they'll have no clue why. So I get those emails all the time. Why is my hair falling out? Like, that's the common thing. And that's why we get these videos on YouTube with these people saying keto is dangerous in the long term. Like, how do you know? You haven't done keto. You haven't done it long term. These are just guessing anecdotal concepts where I've done it for almost 11 years. And I know that when it's done the wrong way, then you have these problems with underactive thyroid or other issues. So I would say graduate slowly and know your existing health. If that makes sense. Yeah.
You're still on. I can see it.
Okay, cool.
I'll give you a heads up if I see it go blank again.
Okay.
Don't call Stephanie on her phone
Yes,
for another couple of minutes. Hold on with your calls.
Exactly.
Where was I going to go with this? Before I started talking about that. Oh, fasting.
Yeah.
Do you fast? And do you
Intermittent
that's
fast?
easy for me to say. Do you intermittent fast, or do you throw in any extended fasts?
Okay, so I'm going to go completely against the whole entire community and say, except for Nora, I think, is not into the fasting, and say, don't fast, ever. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people are metabolically inflexible, and they'll use fasting as a way to lose weight. And that's the worst reason to do it. So, does it have its benefits of giving your digestive tract a break? Of course. Does it, if you're eating a bunch of garbage and you fast, you'll notice that your markers will normalize for the short term. But here's the problem with fasting. You're not in ketosis. It takes a while to keto adapt. People keep thinking you're adapted in 6 weeks. That's not true. I'm in ketosis because my blood glucometer registered at a 0.5. But I'll watch these people because I coach them for months and years, and they have low energy, and they still have thyroid problems. They still have adrenal issues, and they still have health issues with these numbers, which we got to be really careful to not quantify the body in a number. You have to quantify the body in the symptoms, even more beyond your blood test results, because your symptoms are undeniable. So people will fast and they have adrenal insufficiencies. They produce too much cortisol, or they produce too low cortisol in the morning. They're not in ketosis, and it's like driving a Bugatti with no gas in the tank. So if you're not using viable ketones, where are you going to get that energy from? From your muscle, and that's just a fact.
Right.
It is what it is. So I explain to people, if you're going to fast, do nothing. But unfortunately, the biohacking world out there, and it tends to be a lot of men, because that's primarily what drives this whole subculture, is not considering the female anatomy, how it really does women poorly, that they'll lose their menstrual cycle, they'll have issues with serious low energy from it, which is scary because you might especially if you got underlying thyroid issue that you're not aware of. People who promote fasting have to talk about that, because everyone that I coach is like, I did fasting at one point and it made me sick. In the beginning, you're like, oh, it lowered my insulin. But then over time, they had a rebound. So there's a thing called physiological insulin resistance rebound. And because they're not using enough ketones and you're driving a Bugatti or a Lamborghini without any gas in it, it must break down muscle. It has to. And the last thing that you want to do if you have metabolic inflexibility, if you have issues, is to start eating your own body to sustain health. You see? So if your body's in ketosis and you can burn fat, then you're good, because you're not catabolizing muscle, which is a part of your life force. Bone marrow, it's anything that's a protein, really. Collagen, bone marrow, anything that's a protein. You don't want that. So people will start having issues with their reproductive hormones, and men will start having issues with their testosterone dropping fasting, because they're just high on it, like runners who like run. They're like, I get really, really high, and I know I look really sick, but I get high from it. Because often they won't look at their existing health. Are you a good candidate to do long endurance training? Have you prepped your body for it? Because ultimately, you have to look at your physiology at the moment. So I always explain to people, try to adapt first. At least your body's more prone to use ketones than using muscle. If you intermittent fast out the jump, you're probably going to notice your blood sugar start to get all over the place, which is not good at all. It will turn the light on health issues. And if you fast, do nothing. So our hunter-gatherers did not go without food and then just do a bunch of stuff for no reason. Like, I'm going to go jump rope, and I'm going to do some HIIT training, and then I'm going to do some athletic endurance stuff. They're like, no, we need to rest, and we need to be communal, and we need to communicate with each other, and we need to love each other so we can have a balanced system. But we don't do that, right? We're on the go. We want quick foods in a little rip open bag. And we want to just, people have this idea, they visualize being healthy by not eating any food all night. They didn't sleep well, right? So they didn't sleep well. They slept horribly. And then they're going to get up really early, fasted, and go work out. That's a total stress for the body. So you have these contradictory, like, science people saying, like, veganism, no, omnivorism, and people will believe whatever they want to believe. And then you've got people who intermittent fast and they really believe it, and you can't tell them different. But if you actually look at their symptoms and you live in their house, you will see that they don't have sustained energy, that they might have digestive issues. And these things matter. So when people pile in a bunch of protein because they're so hungry towards the latter half of the day, and then their urine starts turning slightly dark, then their kidneys are working because people will binge on protein. So there's just a lot of little moving parts that I feel that if you're an expert on this subject, if you literally talk to all different types of demographic, you become more emotionally, wow, I didn't know that this could happen to this type of person, and this could, instead of the general science idea of intermittent fast will help lower your insulin and it'll help detoxification, make you feel amazing, but that doesn't make sense. So does veganism. Doesn't make sense in the context of, should you take a bunch of supplements if you can't get enough B12 in, or vitamin K2, or whatever it is? Do you know what I mean? So I'm about things that are optimizing your health naturally and not having to run to supplemental things to try to compensate how busy your life is.
Right. It sounds like, wow, I got to echo. I was going to say that, I don't know if I'm echoing on your side or maybe it's just my side.
I can put in earphones if it's echoing. You want me to get...
I think we're good.
Okay, I can turn the volume down. That might do too. Okay.
I always give the analogy to people that in military survival training, right? You have your hands tied, you're blindfolded. They helicopter to the woods, like out in the middle of nowhere. You have no idea where you're at. You just know you're in. Drop off, boom, push you off, and it's like, okay, you and your team has to find your way back to camp within a week. And the first order of business after you get unbound, sounds like a blast, right? First order of business after you get unbound is, okay, with these rudimentary navigational tools that I have to find out where I am right now. Because if I don't know where I am right now, I can't go anywhere.
Exactly.
And it's the same with health, right? You can't just start throwing all these, all these tricks and everything. You don't know where you're at to start with. These tricks may actually set you back. So you really have to have a firm grasp of where you are right now. And I think that's what you're saying. But I always say that in that analogy, because sometimes people are like, oh yeah, that makes sense. You do, if you're going to go anywhere, you got to figure out where you're at. So
I agree. Yeah. So as you can see, I'm not a big proponent of it unless you're going to learn how to know your physiology better. And then also take the time when you fast to rest and not to exert more force and stress on the adrenal glands. That's my ideology. And with all the people that I work with, it works. If they choose to fast, some of them have so many allergies that not eating constantly will also bring down their inflammation. So I'm like, okay, well, let's plan out your fasting schedule more smart so you don't burn through your adrenal system and start losing your hair.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What do you feel like the carnivore diets like really hit lately?
Let's do this.
Right?
Let's do this.
What do you feel about that? And let's refine carnivore diet, and let's say it's a high-fat carnivore diet. So they've kind of put two and two together, and they're going, okay, well, I don't want to be, I don't want to skew my macros too high in protein, so I'm going to choose real fatty cuts of meat. And let's say they've at least taken that step. So I'm a carnivore, but I'm eating really, really fat cuts of meat.
Okay, so this is a subject I've delved into hardcore. So I'm just starting on the curve. Whereas keto, I got this, right? Autoimmunity with keto, I got this. So carnivore, I'm at the beginning of my learning curve, but I'm very open-minded. And I like listening to, again, the lay crowd because they don't know any better. They're speaking by experience. A lot of people who do the carnivore diet, like their macros, for example, on the carnivore diet is quite interesting. The reason why I realize people do this because they are screwed up 10,000 fold. They have autoimmunity, they can't digest plants very well. I don't think that many people, now there are a certain subgroup that will do carnivore because they think that plants are dangerous and toxic and I'm not going to eat plants anymore, but I can digest it. But for those, the rest I think are doing it because they just felt awful on plants. I think that the carnivore diet, as quoted, is amazing for that. Like, I couldn't speak more highly of it. But I feel that I'm always keto. People are like, are you going to go to carnivore? I'm like, nope. I'm like, because I'm going to keep it all about, because a lot of these carnivore diets will eat like 2 pounds of meat. And I'm like, why? Why? Everything that we do is mocking nature, but we're not 100% natural in the way that, because we're not starving. So people still have prior damage. It's still a heavy load. We're not eating anything that's fresh killed at all. We're buying it from local farms and stores and things of this nature and online. I really like, because I've been working with clients, I have a keto course page where people learn very meticulously how to do this the right way. And so we've done some experiments with people sort of doing a quasi-keto carnivore diet. So the macros are very important because it's not carnivore, it must be keto. I've only saying that we're taking out these plants, which plants can be very cleansing, right? As Natasha, I forgot what her name is, she uses this quote that plants are very cleansing. They have their purpose, right? Parsley is amazing for the kidneys. It is. But you're not going to have sustenance on it because that's rabbit food, right? Certain plants are going to have certain things that will help the body, but it's not the life force of food. And so I still keep things keto, and I always keep things in the context like you can't eat plants right now for those who can't, who have a histamine response, because your gut probably has nice big holes in it, and so the permeability has been compromised. You have an inflammatory response. The goal is to fix the gut so you can be an omnivore again. So the macros are going to be not 2 pounds of meat, but you're still going to do ketogenic protein, and that's what I've tested amounts on with this group of people that I work with. So we keep it still men under 100 grams of protein per day, and the fats are ketogenic high. So it remains still a keto diet, right? Just without the vegetables. It's not just carnism. It's not just I'm eating meat and I'm eating a bunch of ribeye. It's rotating your meats. It's finding what things do less, have less bacterial load, the best quality of meat for you, the highest cuts, and supplementing your fats that you can't get, because meats aren't going to have a lot of fat unless you're going to combine it with a lot of ribeye, a lot of pork belly. So I'm like, let's use these fats like lard and beef tallow and duck fat and butter if you don't have an aversion to the whey and casein, the proteins in the butter, because a lot of people have dairy allergies, and so we supplement it. So we keep the fats over 200, so 2 to 3 to even 400 grams of fat, and we keep for men the protein under 100, and for women the protein under 60, and it works. Right, it's working, and people are still keeping their ketogenic energy and their numbers on a glucometer without having to eat 2 pounds of meat.
I dig it.
Yeah.
So, if people don't know, Stephanie is working on a new release book.
Yes. Yeah.
And when can we? What's the name of that book? And then when can we expect that to hit the shelves? Okay,
so both I can't say the name because I haven't copywritten it yet.
Right.
And I can't say the book because when you're writing a book, you turn the last draft in, then you have to do the editing process, and then you create a release date. So we haven't edited the whole thing, so I can't say a release date, but it's coming soon. But the stress on this book has evolved because the original book I wrote had a lot of vegetables in it and a lot of recipes that I now am concerned about. The carnivore diet has really influenced me because people are screwed up on the anti-nutrients in plants. And what you'll see a lot more in this book that I didn't know even 3 months ago is a bacteria called, I think it's called Oxalobacter bacteria. This is a bacteria that helps you metabolize spinach, which has a lot of oxalates in it, anti-nutrients. Some people cannot eat spinach, but they don't know why. Why can some people eat bags of spinach and some people can't? And then of course I'm learning more about, I think it's called DAO or diamine oxidase, which is people don't have certain enzymes to break down the anti-nutrients in plants, right? So now I'm able to put the puzzle pieces together and not promote salads that are raw vegetables where people have gut issues and people are like, I'm fine, I'm just a little gassy. I'm like, no, you're not supposed to be gassy. You're not supposed to be bloated. You're not supposed to get tired post-meal. You're not supposed to have a stomach ache or any of these things. So now my book has evolved to this sort of hardcore keto and understanding autoimmunity and talking about things like fasting. If you were to fast, for example, what would be the real proper way to spare your metabolic system? And then things like why a keto carnivore diet would make so much more sense to adapt, because a lot of people weren't adapting. I went through this with one woman that no matter what we tried, she couldn't adapt until we cut out the vegetables. So the book's going to preface a lot of stuff like that. And then also, of course, I have recipes, but now all my recipes will have 100,000 disclaimers on them because I no longer believe in them because people have too many plant issues.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's one thing I love about this community is we learn, right? And we don't get stuck in one little silo. We learn, and we're all, across it, and we may disagree with variants underneath this big umbrella that might be labeled ancestral eating, but everyone within that community shifts as they learn, and they all maneuver. I don't know of any one that I can call out right now that just look just like stuck and anchored in one place. They all learn, and we all learn. We all shift a little bit. We get better at what we do. I know as a trainer, I learned every day from clients. That doesn't work with this particular client. I wonder why.
Exactly. So all of these things that are so important to me, like my real push on is to cut out the nuts, to cut out the cheese, to cut out the caffeine, to even start looking at the vegetables you're consuming differently, to think about your testosterone, to think about your estrogen dominance, and the fact that you've got polycystic ovarian syndrome, and you've got insulin resistance, and you've got skin issues and psoriasis and shingles, and you've got candida and a white tongue and an itchy bum and all this kind of stuff. Like, that's my forte. I love diving into that. People got sleep issues and insomnia and third shift night workers. So in my learning curve, as in comparison to everyone else, I'm so more open-minded because I haven't been taught by any formal institution. And so, like you and like myself, the people that I talk to are my teachers of how this whole thing works. So I'm so excited to really present all this new data that I've learned about the like something like candida. Like, you can't kill it. You can't kill it until you create competing bacteria, and probiotics aren't enough.
Right.
So that's why I'm all into the high meat thing, and you guys will learn more about that. So.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, Stephanie, where will people find out when your book is ready to go?
I'll blast it. Trust me, they'll know. It'll be on like YouTube, Facebook, other people's platforms. I'll let other people know that it's going to be released, and I'm so grateful and thankful to be in this process. So they'll know. Like, that's easy. I'm on social media nonstop, so it's no problem.
Right on. Well, we look forward to it. I hope that it comes out before the 19 Paleo FX. Just putting that out there to the universe and to you and to your publishers and editor.
Right?
It would be beautiful if it dropped right before Paleo FX.
What month is it?
April.
Yeah.
Yes. Boom. Good.
Yeah.
That we're in there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
yeah. And I will give a shout out in my book. Totally. Because awesome. I'm just so grateful for people like you who just, I don't know, we're such positive, amazing people. So you'll be in there too.
Well, awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You know, our job, or my job at least, is the easiest in the world. All I have to do is supply the platform for people like you to come and spread the wealth, spread the knowledge, and it's a beautiful place to be.
Yeah.
Well, Stephanie, I have sucked up a lot of your time today, and I know you've got a big day ahead of you. And I think, you know, if someone is new to you, where is the one place they could go to find out about Stephanie Person?
I'd say my website, which is stephanieperson.com. But people really find me on YouTube if they want to watch my YouTube lives and subscribe to that. Or also on my Instagram, which is Stephanie Ketogenic, which I'm on there every day, spitting out information just in general, like how much water you drink a day, to like silly things on my stories on Instagram. So my website, but also Instagram and my YouTube, which is Stephanie Keto Person.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming on and spending some time with us. That was absolutely wonderful. And if anybody has any questions post-interview, because I know a lot of these people will watch this subsequently, that's when most of the views take place, drop them in there. We'll get Stephanie to answer them.
Absolutely. Thank
Stephanie,
you.
I cannot wait to see you again.
Thank you,
Have a wonderful California day. I know you have beautiful weather there.
Oh yeah, it's really nice today. You too. I see it in the window behind you.
Right? It's nice here today. We've had a lot of rain lately, which is weird, but it seems to have blown out now, and it's actually cool here. Walked out today, and it's like 60-something degrees. I almost grabbed a hoodie. I was like, what?
What? What's up?
What? Where's my hoodie? Those things get packed way away. Believe me, in the middle of summer, you're like, that's the last thing that you ever
want to even look at. I know.
Look at that. All right. Thank you very much, Stephanie, for coming on. For all you keto felines, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments, and we will talk again soon.
Yes. Thank you, Keith.
Absolutely. Cool.
Yay.
Right on. That was fun.
Yes, it was super fun. And I'm going to put my YouTube channel on pause. Okay.
Coolio. All right. Well, I will let you get back to your day. Yeah, it's getting a little bit warm in here. I clicked the fan off because it was giving me that weird
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we'll talk again soon. Thank you very much for coming on
Thank you so much, Keith.
and chatting. Yeah.
Yes,
And
yes.
Bob says bye-bye as well.
Okay. Bye, Bob.
We'll chat later.
Okay, great.
Alrighty.
Keith.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye. All right, guys. I'm going to take a little bit of questions right now. I'm sweating like a brick because I closed every window. And it is not in the 60s here. And my stupid computer started getting hot. So unfortunately, there's going to be a shh sound the whole time. Okay, so let me raise this, you guys. So I can talk to you for like 10 minutes. Okay. All right. Okay, let me see if you guys had questions the whole time. Okay, you guys were talking to each other. Okay, I'm here if you guys want to. Yeah, so that was Keith Norris. He's the CEO of the Paleo FX, and you can go to their website and watch it with better quality. But I really wanted to record it for my audience because people don't realize how I am. Let me get this at a higher level. I'm involved with these organizations that you see. I'm not just some nerd on the YouTube, and I'm gonna. Let's keep it abolitious. Got to be decent for the page, but for my audience, boom! This is the business. Okay, let me see here. Let me open. I'm so hot. Let's see if I get this up. Okay, why is this not higher? Okay, see, I think more people would start to understand your approach to keto. Do you do consultations with kids? Yes, of course. Yes. He's got high oxalate issue. Yes. I need some water and also to be aware of the time. Let's see, let me just check the time, you guys. Okay, it's almost 10. Because my watch is, I think my watch, is it right? No, my watch is wrong. Why is this? Oh, this is why. Sorry, you guys. I just realized the legs of my tripod are too low. I am not prepared. I went live last minute. I asked Keith, can I record this on YouTube? And he's like, sure, because I'm pretty sure that my audience is going to be more than his on that page. So why not have more people? Like, they're just getting into carnivore, but like, I think these people, like, I'm so open to carnism because I'm not a PhD, so I have an unbiased. Is that too high? No, that's too high. Shoot. Sorry, guys. I know it's the AM. You guys are like, why is she doing it this time? This is the time we had scheduled for okay, how so early? Oh, because they organized, they are interviewing a lot of keto experts on the Paleo FX Facebook page, and this is just the time that we agreed on, and I'm cool with that. I don't care. That because he was doing a Facebook Live. Oh, and it's a group. It's their Facebook group, a Paleo FX group, and it's their Paleo FX, I think, keto group, and he's probably going to talk to another person after me and another person after me and another person after me. And I know that my audience doesn't come on at this time, but I don't care. I was like, I'm going to record it. It'll be good for the replay for people to see that I'm talking to other people, you know, because I never record my interviews. I get interviewed all the time on different podcasts, and it goes to their channel, and then I don't link it to mine because I'm so busy. And I was like, oh, it's so easy just to record it live to my group. So, okay, 8 p.m. here. Oh, it's okay, John Thunder. What's the youngest? What? Hess? 6? Do you know? What do you mean youngest? What? How do you help with high oxalates? So oxalates, high oxalates, it's not just high oxalates. You might have an like I said, oxalobacter bacteria deficiency, or also a diamine oxidase deficiency. So that's probably due to compromised gut wall. So I think that somebody who's got a high oxalate metabolism, to metabolize the oxalates, probably should do a carnivore diet, keto carnivore. Is it true that early morning protein speeds up aging because its effects on IGF? Probably. It's a theory, right? You're mentioning a theory, and I'm agreeing that that theoretically it could happen, yeah. Noelle's like, yay, morning. I know my European people, not that you're European, but I'm thinking a lot of people who can't see me in my late afternoon streams are so happy that I'm streaming now, so. Can you actually be in ketosis if you do the paleo diet? Nope. Paleo diet is eating still like a lot of carbohydrates, and keto is very low to none if you've got a bacteria issue or oxalate issue. Hi Steph, you are awesome. Regarding rendered beef tallow, do you melt it? If you buy it, is it solid blocks? Yeah, so beef tallow, beef fat is going to be big white chunks. Some people just buy the fat because we're such a fat phobia world that you can actually get the fat from pastured grass-fed cows quite easily and just render it yourself. You're good to go. Or you can buy it from things like fatworks.com or US Wellness Meats. I think they do, I think a beef tallow, I'm not sure, but I think so. Which are an awesome company as well. And there's also like milksomething.com where people can get grass-fed cream, and if not, but for like, oh, paleo people don't do milk. Do they do milk? Yeah. Raw milk for that crowd who are not ketotic. Okay, hi Steph, you're awesome. Okay, regarding butter, you once said you eat semi-soft, not melted. Any problem with melted? Easier to go down. Let me tell you something right now, GD. Okay, let me go from like my white girl, like so fabulous, to my black girl. Child, let me tell you right now. Okay, I don't like it melted. There's no, nutritional beneficial differences if you do melted or more solid. I just love the freaking texture of it. I don't want to melt it. I want to eat it like it's freaking ice cream. I want to eat it like it's like an ice cream bar or like just straight cream. I don't like it melted. It's boring that way. So, now you know. Now you know. Okay, he's only 6 years old and has calcium in his kidneys. Yikes. High oxalates, P tests. So you're worried about doing a carnivore diet. Yeah, so we've got to, I can do some research and figure out, because if you've got high oxalate issue, a lot of plants have oxalates, and he might have problems with the purines. I'm not really sure if you guys have tested the different types of proteins, if he shows up to have high uric acid in his blood when he's eating certain meats. So that's something you might want to know if you decide to go with me prior. I bet a Scandinavian paleo diet keto because if nothing would grow anyway. Manuel. So I lived in Sweden. Okay, you guys know I lived in Sweden about 11 years. And yeah, not much grows because most of the year, it's 9 months out of the year. So you've got, you've got a few more months there. You got 3 more months of being able to grow things, but 9 months it's freaking dark and cold, and you're gonna hunt and fish. Actually, Swedes, you could live purely on like fish and some game, some liver, some fish liver, although I think that's toxic. No, fish roe, if you were to completely just survive in Scandinavia. When eating a keto carnivore, is the plan to have, say, a ribeye, for example, and then add enough tallow to make? Yes, that's a yes. And you still want your protein to be moderate to low. So I don't call myself a carnist because they can eat 2 pounds of meat, and I'm 100% against that. I am keeping your protein moderate to low because the goal for me is to be in ketosis, not to be a carnivore person. It's to hit ketosis, to be highly keto adapted. Sirens are bugging me. Okay, see, my fasting sugars are what? 2, 3, what? I'm sorry. That doesn't make any sense. Or you mean 2.3? What, 2.3? I don't get the number you're saying. That's not in milligrams per deciliter or millimolars, so I'm confused on that number. It looked like the way you wrote it is time. I think. Okay, do you recommend iodine from kelp drops daily? GD, only if you think you need it, right? Only if you feel that you need, that the foods that you're eating are not iodine rich enough, you need to go towards kelp. So I don't know. I don't know if you have a thyroid problem. I don't know. I don't know if you have a gut problem and you're not getting enough iodine from food because you have gut permeability issues. So I just don't know. Hey Stephanie, I ordered pork jowl. Yum. Oh, it's so good. From the butcher. From your butcher. And it came in today. How would I suggest cooking it? I think people do it different ways. I think some people boil it or they boil / bake it. I don't know. I've actually never cooked pork jowl. I've got clients who eat it all the time, so I can ask them and then talk about it in another live stream. Really? How long are you going to have the... It's like they're driving in a circle. They don't go anywhere. Just like, woo, woo, for like 5 minutes. Blood sugars, 230. Thank you. Yeah, that's diabetes. Are you type 2 diabetes, Yolanda? I need to know. You guys got to give me more information, you know? If you have not been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes or insulin resistance and you test your blood sugar and it's 230, you might need to go to the doctor, honey. Okay. That's high. Like, that's dangerously high. Although the doctors would just put you on metformin. So you would have to change your lifestyle. Oh, you're a type 2 diabetic. Okay. So what was your question? Can you be more specific? Okay, so happy to see you live. Yay! I am a big fan from Germany. See, that's why I'm getting my European audience. Hallo! Was ist los? So much knowledge. You are awesome. Thank you. Every time I learn something new, I have a leaky gut Hashimoto's and doing keto more than a year, but not really. Okay, so you've been doing keto more than a year. Interesting. And how do you feel? T? Hallo! What? Hallo? Was ist los? Was ist, das ist... My brain always wants to switch to Swedish because I don't know enough German. What's good? Swedish would be like, läget. What's good? Don't just compliment, like up. Oh yeah, thank you, GD. Don't forget to like up the stream. I mean, today we only have 52 people, but that's okay. Normally I get over 100. But I'm really happy with the 50-something people. And if you could like up the stream, it'll bring more people to this broadcast or later on the replay. So like up the stream, guys. No, it's not moving. I guess we got 20-something people just deciding if they want to or not. Do you guys have any more questions, you 51 people? Otherwise, I will run off to the gym and get my workout on. I'm gonna do some pull-ups, strict full range hang pull-ups. My question got answered? Okay. Smaller group is better. Yeah, I agree. But you guys, the smaller group is not asking that many questions, so I'm kind of perplexed. And they're barely liking up the stream. Okay, I came across, what is it? Finlandia, from Finland. Okay, butter. As it appears, it's better than Kerrygold. Probably. Kerrygold is not the best butter. Do you know anything about it? Nothing. I know nothing. If it's full grass-fed, not fat grass-finished, probably better. Please let me know if you can help my 6-year-old. I don't know. I can try. I can try. You know, people would be stupid to say that they could. Yes, I could help your 6-year-old. But I think with my knowledge, I think I would have a lot of great knowledge for you as a mom that could help your 6-year-old. No, okay. Now, I do like you said it. No cheese, no milk. I feel better, but I think my body needs my body needs longer to heal. But I follow what you say. I have no glucometer. I should get one, unfortunately, but I'll try to see how my something. Go work out for triceps. Right? Tricep. I think that it's not like just a workout. I think it's knowing how to hit the different heads of your tricep. You know, when you're doing a split rope below, or I don't really like above, extensions above the head, tricep pull downs, push up. For people who don't make it to a gym, you could do tricep push-ups against the wall, on your knees, tricep push-ups, dips on a machine, assisted machine, dips on bars, dips on a bench. Those are all of the ones I can think of. Maybe I'll have to go and film one instead of just say a bunch of exercises. Just want to say hi because I never get to see you like, aw. Thank you, Arlene Summers. Okay, Body Reacts. Yeah, you finally managed to catch a live stream. Oh, because I stream in the afternoon. Are green beans okay? Yes, if you don't have any problems with them. How do you lower estrogen dominance? Well, just go right in, honey. Okay. Something that should be like a 6-hour lecture. That's a big one. But I can tell you some things, right? Which is to avoid certain foods, to stabilize your blood sugar, to get good sleep. I know these things you don't want to hear because it's like, oh, okay, just get good sleep, just like poof, the magic wand and I get good sleep. It's more complicated. That's why it takes 6 hours. This is how you get good sleep. This is how you diaphragmatic breathe. This is how you meditate. This is how you use maybe some phytoestrogens, possibly. This is how you clear out liver, kidney, colon, especially liver. This is how you poop to get out the estrogen, circulating estrogens. You know, exercise, breathe, sleep. That would be hours of explaining how to do each one to balance your estrogen. And you guys don't always just have to lower your estrogen. Sometimes you guys have to learn how to raise your progesterone. Good morning, Shala. What's up? Shala's like, I gave it a good try, but I can't do no more. Okay, what up, Chica? Martin? Thank you. Look at that body. What's up? Right, not too bad for 51. I did a stream yesterday and I had like some bubble water. I was like, I'm a little, my stomach was like, but today, good to go. 51, keto for 11 years. Feeling, go see me work out. Go to my Instagram, which is Stephanie Ketogenic, you guys. Okay, how long should you wait post fatty tea before exercise? It depends on how much fat if you have in there. If you have like 2 tablespoons, you could probably start working out in about 12 minutes, 15. You know, if you sip it real slowly and get it down, you should be good. Does raising progesterone increase libido? No, it's testosterone, darling. It's actually the balance of all three. Of the 3 estrogens, progesterone, testosterone. But really, if your testosterone, your testosterone is imbalanced, you should be like, that's what's up. Okay. Okay, let's see here. I gotta be mindful of the time, you guys. Thank you, John Thunder. Yolanda, what's up? 62, I still have a chance with keto. Of course, Yolanda. What? Of course. You kidding me? Yo, 61 is not as young. Yo, when I turn 61, I'm gonna look almost identical to this, and you wouldn't even question it. I'm 51. So when I meet people and they're like, oh my God, are you 51? I'm like, yes, you don't have to age exponentially, you guys, as we get older. I'm breaking the stereotypes of age. I'm tired of it. When people have you're this age, you're old. No. When postmenopause, what is a good way to raise progesterone? Protect your adrenals, because they make progesterone. That's why I protect my adrenals, you guys. That's the reason why I always talk about adrenal health. That's why I like get rid of the coffee and sleep and diaphragmatic breathe and meditate and do some Tai Tai Chi and eat the right foods and regulate your blood sugar, because that will protect your adrenals. So women, when you go through menopause, you can keep your muscles, not all of them, but you can keep a lot of your body's health and wealth, because the adrenal glands will take over for the dwindling ovaries. I don't have Deborah, so I gotta do it myself today. Age is just, what did you say? Come on, phone. Okay, here we go. Age is just a number. Biological age is something else. Exactly, John. And that's the thing. So if you talk about my biology, like, okay, that's the skin. Tight, right? Boink, boink. It just goes, bink. Skin goes, bink. But it's 51 years of age skin, right? It's still 51 years of age skin. It's not my skin at 41 or 31, but it's protected skin at 51. So then the skin is well protected. That's what's so important. Oh, to set up an appointment, you go to stephanieperson.com. stephanieperson.com. And there, I have a calendar. You actually go to the calendar page. You see the times that work for your schedule. I think it's almost full book, so I will have to reopen new dates again so people can book a consultation. And over the years of working with thousands of people, I've probably, no one's ever complained, actually. One woman complained because I used to write the meal plans afterwards, and this is like 6 years ago, 7, and I wrote a meal plan and she didn't like it, and I don't blame her because back then I didn't know what I was doing. But yeah, people seem to be really stoked on the consultations, because you go to a doctor's office and they listen to you for 7 minutes. That's the time, and they're out the door. But sometimes you just need to sit down and listen to people, and they talk. They just put it out. It becomes like a therapy session, because people are like, look, I've had eczema for 20 years. You know, I've had digestive issues. My menstrual cycle came and went. La, 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 la. And you need all that data, and how people weren't able to sleep, or they went through a stint of drinking too much alcohol. And then I take all that data down, and then I start to reconstruct how to do this the right way. I find out if you guys have any of these disorders, from histamine issues to digestive issues to leaky gut to headaches to fibromyalgia to polycystic ovarian syndrome, men have got low testosterone, polyps in the bung, candida, parasites, freaking shingles, psoriasis, high blood pressure, diabetes, type 1 and 2, insulin resistance, athletes, adrenal insufficiency, low cortisol, Addison's, like you name it, we talk about it, okay? People who want to have children, people who want to breastfeed on keto, putting children on keto, that's what I talk about. I wanted to buy Cyprium here in Germany, but it's only available for dogs and humans. Well, do you need it? Because I don't like supplements. If you don't need it, don't take it. Only take it if you feel like it'd be advantageous. Like, it's good for people who've got colitis, and it's good for people who've got any type of itis in their digestive tract, but you don't necessarily need it as a fiber. It may help with leaky gut. I don't know. That I don't know. Just added sweet potato to my keto. That's not keto anymore, but you added keto, okay. So it's not low carb, high fat. Oh yeah, this is Shala. Okay, this is the one I know. So still want to go back to, go back to wheat, sugar, diabetes runs in my family, scared to death of any. So Shala, you gotta just tell me what's happened since you went on sweet potatoes, and document it, email me it. I'd like to see a full report. Just be like, hey Steph, it's me Shala, I went back onto sweet potato. This is how it's working, this is what's going on, this is my blood sugar, this is when I'm tired, this is when I feel good. Give me all of that. That'd be very interesting. I'm still struggling and getting over my caffeine addiction. I feel kind of depressed at first half of my day. It's normal for an extra coffee. Yes. No, it should only last 3 days. Better libido through, though. Okay, you're 25, Manuel? Okay, Manuel, you can try, I don't like supplements, but there's DLPA, or it's called L-tyrosine. So people say that it helps with the keto or the coffee flu, like where you don't feel well after quit caffeine. That's all I can suggest. Drink some water, eat the right foods, get the right sleep. Okay, what should I note down to give you the most information for the appointment? And I don't have anybody give me information anymore. I'm too busy for that. It's gonna have to come in that consultation, and that means that 1 hour, you gotta have your stuff and your notes organized. And because I would have, now Shala is somebody I've worked with many, many times, so that's fine, but for her to email me something. But if I had everybody email me and all former clients and all clients, I don't even think I would leave my chair at my desk all day, every day. So you would have to just come with it. Okay, what should I note down to give you the most? And is there any risk of parasites in undercooked liver? I don't know. You're going to figure that out for yourself. I am not going to be the proposed expert on organ meats nor on undercooked liver. I can tell you I'm not afraid of it at all. So, you know what I mean? And you're going to have to go and do the Googling. Focus. You're going to have to do the Googling that I've done to learn what I've learned about organ meats. I'm not an organ meat expert. And it feels so good to say that. So then I don't have to really answer that question. Okay? No, liver pills are junk in comparison to real liver. I mean, real liver is just beyond measure, very, 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 pastured liver is very healthy for you. I have no better libido without coffee. It takes time, Manuel, really? You're not serious, right? It's not about coffee, hon. It's about your whole life, bruh. It's about your diet. It's about your sleep. Coffee's just one more, like, drop over the glass of lowering your testosterone. It's not the reason your testosterone is low. I just think that it's memory of high. No, it's not. It's physiology. But like that. Hit the like. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Debbie. You guys, yeah, hit the like button. Hit the like button. I think I should even go. I'm gonna stay in 5 more minutes. Let's see the time is. Hold on. Check my laptop. No, I can check this. It's right here. All right. So we got here 10:22. Okay, we got 5 more minutes going on. Okay, I have, let's see, people hit the like, yeah. Hit the like. What are your thoughts on CBD? Fine. I mean, people are just starting to use it. So some people swear by it. Some people, literally, because I live in Cali, some people are like, I don't feel anything. Some people say it helps. I think that we're in that very beginning stage on certain things, on the health benefits of it, including keto. So I'm sure that there's health benefits, but I don't know. I don't think anybody can answer that solidly. I mean, by what I've on if you're talking about liver, and this is by what I've read, and that's it. Is that the way your body utilizes the vitamin A, the retinol, and the copper, any of these types of things, when you're taking supplemental copper can be quite toxic. But your body is its own pharmacy. It knows how to partition and use and process these vitamins and minerals that you would find in liver so as to not have toxicity. So there are cultures that eat nothing but liver and they're absolutely fine. So I think a lot of the studying has to do with supplemental, because we don't live in a culture where people just eat organ meats. We eat muscle meat. So I think these are analyzed by populations that take supplements. So I don't think it'll offset. No, not at all. Not by what I've read. How long after workout should I measure my blood sugar? Probably about 20 minutes. Do you recommend that even cauliflower, cabbage, broccoli be organic? Yes. If people are worried about copper toxicity, they should pay attention to the copper being in the IUDs that dysregulate estrogen. That's a good point. But I think that men don't have to be considerate of that, or women who are postmenopause, and yeah, but that middle group of women, yeah, I've never even used an IUD, so no problem on that. Okay. Do you guys have any last questions? But I'm glad I got this live stream out of the way. It feels, sometimes it feels like a job because I'm so busy, and I'm like, okay, how can I stick a live stream in? Because when I get home, I like to sit down for a minute and rest, but I don't. I do live streaming and then I start working until I go to bed. So now I can go home and rest without feeling stressed to do a live stream. Yes, I'm going to have a great gym time. Thank you, Christina. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the crowd that came to my live stream today. Again, I wanted to film my interview with Keith Norris, the CEO of Paleo FX. He's such a sweetheart. He's such a kind person. The Paleo FX organization has treated me very, very well. And every chance... no, you're not blocked, GD. I don't know why questions didn't come up. It's technology. I mean, sometimes it goes wrong. So I can see your comment now, so you're definitely not blocked. You're doing great stuff. Keep it up. Thank you. In a consultation, do you need to see blood work? No, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not allowed to actually see any doctor paperwork. That's an easy sewage that you could do. And I don't mean underwater pipes. I mean suing my butt. That's a no. You guys, what I do is I take the knowledge that I have and I make it applicable to a ketogenic plan that I think would work best for you to help your autoimmunity. But I'm not a specialist in the different autoimmune issues. So if you have a thyroid insufficiency, if you're insulin resistant, type 2 diabetic, polycystic ovarian syndrome, if you got hematomacrosis, if you got weird stuff, pancreatitis. I'm not an expert in those things. Or high blood pressure. But what I can do is I can take the knowledge that I've acquired and then I can try my best to help you. And I'm pretty successful, but not always. That's how I found you. Oh, you did Keto FX. Oh, cool. No, I didn't know that. Oh, cool. You know, it kind of like people will look at me and I'm in a little half top, and in some aspects it doesn't legitimize my knowledge because I'm not a PhD. But a lot of PhDs, like I haven't heard them murmur yet on the carnivore diet. And I've jumped all into the knowledge of it. I binge read and watch this stuff because there's no data. None of these PhDs will have a single drop, maybe from Agenas van der Planet, but you know, they might read his stuff, but his science outcomes. But there's no information. So when he's like, what do you think of keto-carnivore? Like, yo, I just want to talk another hour about it. Like, let me talk more. So I would answer some of his questions indirectly because I wanted to get my thoughts out, not just answer like other stuff. Blech. Love you, Keith. I want, because he's on a time frame. He's like 20 minutes. I was like, oh, I really want to talk about the, I do. Keith is amazing. One of my favorite people. But interviews, and all the interviews I've done, which I've done like over 25 podcasty type of things or interviews, I always want to say more than what they want to ask. And I'm like, oh, I guess I should start my own podcast, but I don't have time for it. Maybe one day. Okay, Stephanie, if I want to get a test done, which do you recommend for my medlabs.com? There's about 6. Alma, you should probably hit me on the course page on the weekend. Yeah. Yeah, she probably hit me on the course page on the weekend because I don't know what you feel worried about with your body. So maybe that could be one of the questions you ask tomorrow on the course page. So the keto course page, people are going to ask me questions. I need a little bit more background on Alma, even though I've done a consultation with her and she's on the course page. But I want to know specifically what you're concerned about, and then I can say, hey, you know, they've got these tests. This is what I think. And it's something you should consider too. But the tests that I really like are metabolites from parasites. You could test your glutathione. I'm going to have to go and look on the website as well to see but I'm not sure right now. I'm really not. A manservant? Is that? Can hopefully I'll catch you live your live stream. Yeah, on Sunday. Yeah, and yeah, you catch me. And also, you can ask the question tomorrow, and just give me a list of the things you're concerned about on the course page. Because you're still on the course page, right, Alma? If I'm right. Okay. Do you think we are missing the dairy, cheese, yogurt? No, because you're eating butter. That's a good bacteria, GD. What? You think that people are eating raw, grass-fed dairy products? What percentage of people are eating that? They're eating A1 sick cows injected with hormones. Focus. And the beneficial bacteria? I would say that you'd get more beneficial bacteria from doing some high meat than, and that's an assumption because I haven't done it yet, than from these sick animals. And yogurt? No. You eating raw grass-fed yogurt? Raw A2 kefir? Maybe that. Do you have a sensitivity to casein? You guys have to factor in all these things. You can't just do something because you heard that it's good for you. Because 9 times out of 10, just taking any yogurt or cheese is garbage, like destroy your health garbage. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining this broadcast. I definitely have to go. You know me, I can easily go over time. It's already been 1 hour and 17 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed the first half of this video where you saw the interview with Keith Norris at the Paleo FX. If you want to watch it better than on my phone, you can go to their group, Paleo FX Keto or something. I don't know. They should have sent me the link, or I'll go look at my email. See, I would get a good Get Info course page, Hashimoto's, for Hashimoto's. Would I get? It's not about Hashimoto's. No, so you're not, like, if I talk about Hashimoto's that day, would be great information, but it's not like, oh, here's a whole, 2-week course on Hashi's on the course page. It's a ketogenic dietary measure course page that focuses on how to keto adapt and not so much focusing on somebody's disease, because I'm not an endocrinologist. So we will talk about Hashi's. I have spoken about Hashi's, have spoken about hypothyroidism and small theories on how to fix it, but it's not like huge things on just Hashi's. That would be definitely no. It's more about how to keto adapt. Let me see. Pump it up at the gym. Thank you so much, John. John's like, go, Steph. Thank you, everyone. Let me see. Overall, I've been on keto for more than a year, but everything improved since I started following your way of doing it. Really changed my perspective as well. My priority is health. Yay, Manuel. Thank you. That was a perfect ending to this stream. Thank you for saying that. I'm trying, you guys. I'm trying to do my best. Have a fantastic day, because I'm going to in beautiful, sunny LA. Thanks, guys. Till next time, I'm out. Peace. Flaxseed wraps. No. Peace out. I don't know. GD, you could do it if you want to. I don't care. Sure, your thing. But try not to just do processed food. Try to eat more whole foods. You can have it, but whole foods. Bye, guys. Have a great freaking morning, day, evening. If you're in Europe, have a great evening. If you're in South Africa, have a great evening. If you're in Australia, you're in bed. And for the people in the U.S., have a nice work day. Peace out. Till next time. Bye, guys. Thank you too. You too, Manuel and Alma and Jude and Jessica. Peace. Bye, guys.